Thank you. Okay. Okay.
I think permission not granted from my end.
Sure. Okay. Then with this person to record?
Francis.
So Selva, are you recording as well? Are you recording? Because I want okay, Saul, you're recording. That's okay. Okay.
Yeah, let me try to record and see.
Yeah, it is actually on.
I can see Leader Saul is recording.
It's fine then. I think we can go by that. All right. So so as I was saying, we're going to have this class for mentorship class Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday, and then for Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday we have the mentorship class. Unfortunately, the technical analysis class. Unfortunately, not all are in that technical analysis class. I think yes, I only have a number. And it's also this week, last week we didn't quite have it because I got a little bit busy. I think we only had it once. So we shall see how the week will go. Possibly tomorrow we shall have it, and then we have on Thursday and then a Saturday. And also what I wanted to make clear is like for this month, since we have started our fasting, I'm a Muslim, so we may have the class not starting at 7:30 as it used to, but it will rather start at 8:30 after me, having taken my futar, and then yeah, you can have it. You can just have it, and we have that extension for this month. Yeah, so that sometime that we may change a little bit. So when you see a Zoom link in the group, please kindly just join if you wish to be part of that class. You just do yourself that favor, and then you join, and then we continue learning. All right, so that is briefly with regards to that update. Now, today, I know we have talked about a number of things previously in our mentorship class, and allow me to share my screen. Yeah, we talked about quite a number of in our previous classes, and I trust about what's in it. What's in it? Okay, thank you. Good. So we talked about a number of things, but today I wanted us to look at specifically some area which I think is trying to pose a lot of challenge in relating the three. I believe all of us here, irrespective of whether you're new or you're old, you know that we have about 3 strategy modes. So we have what we call this. We have 3 strategy modes. We have what we call the wall warehouse. We have the sub-bin, and then the sub-bin real-time settlement. Now, kindly, if you don't mind, I would request one person just to briefly tell us what he or she understands about when you set your strategy mode in the wall warehouse mode, right? Then another person probably share with us what this would mean if you set your strategy mode in the sub-bin mode, and then the sub-bin mode real-time settlement. Then I will have a clarification. And then possibly I will also tell you when and what circumstance would you keep your strategy mode in the wall warehouse mode. Under what circumstance would you put it in sub-bin mode, and under what circumstance you would set your robot in the sub-bin mode real-time settlement. So kindly, I will allow anyone, any willing person, to tell us briefly about these sub-bins, about these strategy modes. Because I always say this is our class is an interactive class, because I think you're good. I always make sure that at least we get to know what we're doing. So kindly raise up your hand and I give you a chance to say something. right? So who can talk about the wall warehouse mode? Yes, Monday? You
Yeah,
could do,
one.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, when you are trading and
Yes.
you are being in a whole warehouse, it means that if
Yes.
the trade have bought maybe first call, second call, third call, it will all sell at the same time
Mm-hmm.
and give you the profit. Then
Okay.
when you put it in a sub beam mode, you
Yes.
bought first and second and third and fifth, it will sell the sixth call or seventh call or fifth call, but the profit will not reflect in your revenue. It will use it and bring down the current price to the average closer to the current price. So it will not give you the profit. It will be and reduce the floating loss. Then when you put it as sub-beam mode, rate and settlement, then when you bought first and second and third and fifth call, from the fifth call is independent. Whenever any of the calls sell, it will give you the profit. Then when he buys, if it drops a little, it will buy again. Then when he goes up a little, it will sell and give you the profit or that the same call that sell. Then maybe the coin still in floating loss, but it will buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling and giving you profit till when the coins will finally sold from the fourth call to the fourth call to the first call. All of them will be sold once. So that is it.
Wow. All right. Thank you very much, Mandy. I think that was a great explanation. I trust it's the same explanation that most of us have. All right. Could there be anyone with another version of the explanation? Just one more person,
Hello.
probably, if it is.
Hello.
Yes, Francis.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes. Yes. Who is speaking?
Hello. Can I go on? Olu.
Who is? Okay. Yes,
Olu.
please. Olu.
Olu.
Yes, please. Yes, Olu.
Okay, but for me, for the whole house settlement, for the whole house, I think it has to do with the first call. I mean, the bots will sell them at once. But once you've put the fifth call, you should change to sub-pin mode real-time settlements. The good thing about it is that if you go beyond the first four calls and you go up to fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, it will continue to sell. As it's selling, it will buy again. And that's the beauty of it. So while the market is going deep and it's going up and down, it will be buying and selling for you. But if you don't, once you set your trade and you don't include it from the beginning, and then you may not be able to enjoy that benefits. So it's appropriate that when you are setting your trade, you put it in sub-bin mode real-time settlement, so that you can enjoy that benefit. If you don't put it from the initial stage, you may not be able to enjoy that that benefit. That's what I've experienced.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think all the two are perfect explanation. Now, let me clarify this. Let me throw more light for us to have a better understanding of this so that we don't make any mistake when it comes to setting these robots. Yes, I understand in most cases when I'm giving out the signals in the group, I only cater for the first two margin calls. I only give you the margin call drop for the first and the second call. I don't dictate on the multiple buying ratio. Normal, I don't. Though I do recommend any of the two, either Fibonacci or the double up method. You know, the double up is prefer you doing it at will. Now, sometimes the price may continue dipping, and then you won't help but rather open more margin calls. Now, when you open more margin calls, you need to be very careful not to forget to set your strategy mode accordingly, right? You shouldn't always forget. Now, I want to give this clarification, and you'll allow me to do this. Now, When your strategy mode, the robot has been designed in such an amazing way, in that sometimes you see people getting a particular kind of profit, and you will wonder why you're not actually getting the same. The robot has been designed in such a way that how best you manipulate it and how best you understand it will give you the opportunity to manipulate it the way you want. In fact, it becomes like a toy that you can play in here and there, and it will still get what you want. You maximize profit if you just know what to do. Now, when your strategy mode is in the wall warehouse mode, take this serious. And listen to this very well. Irrespective of the number of margin calls that the robot is going to buy, it will treat whatever position the robot has bought as a single enter at what price it bought. The most important thing is that it has bought. And when it is good, right? 50 buys the first call, second call, third call, fourth call, fifth call, sixth call, seventh call, all the way to 99 or 999 margin call. The robot won't treat any of this respective position independently. It is just going to treat them as a single unit. Now, treating it as a single unit under what percentage of take profit? It will treat it as a single unit under this TP. This TP, if you come to the trade settings, this TP. You see this TP? This it will treat all the position. Like for example, you see the number of, the margin call limit here, I've set 10. Now, if I do not change my strategy mode to any of the other sub-bin modes, what was going to happen is, irrespective of the number of calls that the robot is going to make, it is going to treat it as a single unit, meaning it will never sell. Even if it buys the fifth or sixth or seventh call, it won't treat it as an independent unit. It will treat it all still as a compressed. It is clear and it will wait to clear only if the market price rises by this TP, the wall position to profit ratio. It will only be looking at this take profit. Any of those other distributed and take profit allocation, it won't consider. However much it won't happen.
Coach, your network is breaking.
Is once the robot buys from the fifth call onwards, you cannot even change the strategy mode. You understand? So the robot will treat all that it bought as a single unit. It will only sell when the market price rises by that.
Coach, please, your network is breaking.
We cannot hear you well. The network is breaking.
Coach, adjust your network kindly. You're breaking a lot.
Hello, Coach. Can you check your network? Your network is breaking.
I think the network has even removed Coach from. No, I can see he's around. Only that we can't hear him.
Okay, is it okay now? Let me use this. Okay, let me use this other phone. Is it okay now?
It's better.
It's better.
Yeah, that's quite okay.
Yeah, the other phone is misbehaving. I don't know why the network is poor. Okay. Let me see who is the host. Okay, I'm the co-host. Could somebody? Who is the host? Who has been made the host?
I think it is our
Okay.
recorder.
Yeah, I'm the one. All right. So let me just share my screen. Let me use this other phone now. No problem. Yeah. So I hope it doesn't disturb again this network. Okay.
No, you are okay. You are now sharing.
Okay. All right. So I was here. So we're talking about the sub-bin mode, real time. So we're talking about the world warehouse mode, right? So I was saying that I hope I repeat it because it wasn't clear for everyone. I said when your strategy mode is in the world warehouse mode. World warehouse mode means that whatever the robot buys, it will only be looking at selling it in its entirety. Like for example, selling it at a go or at once. It wouldn't separate or it wouldn't split it up into sub positions or sub units. It will just treat everything as a single unit, right? Irrespective of how many times the robot has bought. Okay. And normally this one cuts across. It doesn't only first four, it cuts across all position that has been bought. Okay, whether the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all of it, as long as the strategy mode is in the war warehouse mode, just expect the robot is going to treat whatever position it has bought as a single unit. So it keeps on piling up. It picks another, maybe say for example, it picked $20, it will add up on what was already in the market. Picks another 30, it will add it up. Picks another 100, it will add it up. For whatever the robot buys, it keeps on piling it up. And it will only be waiting for that moment when the market price will shift to the upside and rise by the TP, which you have set under the wall position take profit ratio. So if you had set like I've done, like 10%, what is going to happen is the robot will only sell if the max when it will sell. The moment the market price does not rise to this percentage, don't expect any sell at all. Right? Now, the disadvantage with this is that you cannot do automatic replenishment. You can only do manual replenishment. If there's any need, for example, let's say if the market price has really dipped and you find yourself floating, like for example, in my case, assume that I am already floating at negative 11 and I want to reduce this floating loss, right? I want to reduce this floating loss. If my strategy mode is in the wall warehouse, I cannot go and set my parameters for the fifth call. Because even if I do, the robot is going to buy, right? If it buys, okay, it may have a little bit of an effect, but what I'm not going to benefit from is the sub-sell that is going to happen under the fifth call. Because under normal circumstance, when you're trading and you've set your parameter right, you expect that once the robot buys off or executes buy orders from the first to the fourth call, you expect yourself to enter into the sub positions or what we call the sub bin. Yeah, those levels where now the robot is going to treat every position it buys independently. So the advantage of that is that the advantage of treating every position that the robot will be buying independently is that you are able and you will be very flexible. Change the take profit to set and change the take profit for that position. You'll also have the liberty and freedom to determine the amount you would actually wish the robot to use for that particular position. You get that? And then the third advantage is that you'll be in position to enjoy some sub-sales, even when you're floating in a loss. The robot will still be in position to buy and sell, and you'll be seeing some profits accumulating and piling in your revenue, right? So, but if your strategy mode is in the wall warehouse mode, you don't expect such. Together, you won't see any kind of sub-sell. You will only be waiting for one big news, which is the entire sales. The sale is out from selling everything that was bought. right? So I hope that is very clear. So normally the best thing to do if you want to benefit from any sub-sell, make sure that before you increase your margin call limit to any figure past 5, make sure you change your strategy mode from wall warehouse to any of the other two, either sub-bin mode or sub-bin mode real-time settlement. But if you don't mind, then leave it in the wall warehouse. If your interest is to only do manual replenishment, that will be good. You may as well do automatic replenishment, but the only disadvantage you will have is that you won't see that aspect of the sub-sell. The robot won't be buying and selling, you know. So that is about the wall warehouse mode. So it is good to change. Now, the advantage of changing it is, the other time I said we were going to share something about it, that you are able even to trade a signal that has been dropped on that coin, even while floating in a loss. Like, for example, you see HOT just sold my 5th position. And if you can check, it just sold it. Now, what I'm going to do is, because I'm good at analyzing the market as well, I look for buying opportunities. Now, when I look out for buying opportunities, I go and measure the the percentage drop, right? And I set that percentage drop for my 5th call and then 6th call. For example, if I send a signal on HOT at the moment, the first call, the margin call drop for the first call, which is in the signal, is what I am going to set for my 5th call. Then the margin call drop for the second call, right? The margin call drop for the second call in the signal is what I am going to set for my 6th call. It's magical, but it works perfectly well. Even when you're floating, you'll be trading a coin like somebody who is entering it for the first time. So that is why it is very important to change the strategy mode and you don't miss out on some of those opportunities. But if you're already in a wall warehouse mode, you can change. You cannot benefit from such. Imagine. You can set, but the robot is going to buy and still remain and retain everything in the market. You see that? And the disadvantage will be, what if the market price does not rise to your intended take profit? That means you now have to sit and wait for everything that is in the market to first be sold. And then you have your capital back. But at least the beauty with the sub-sell is that every amount it has pumped in, the robot has pumped in the market. After selling it, that profit realized together with what was pumped is brought back to your sports wallet. And then you again target and you again watch how the market is going to fare. If again you identify any buying opportunity, you again go and set. The robot buys again. If it sells, it returns back. So it is something that you can be maximizing profit even while floating in a loss, as you wait for when the market price will recover fully, and then you finally get out, right? And I've been doing that quite often, so much. Yeah, they may seem very small, but hey, it is something. So sometimes you can do that. So that is the beauty about the strategy, understanding the strategy mode. So we are going to talk about the sub-bin mode. So we are done with the wall warehouse mode. I believe it is okay. If it is not fine, I'll also give you a chance to specifically ask where you didn't understand quite well. Now let's talk about the sub-bin mode. Sub-bin mode. Now this one and this one works in a more or less similar way. But now the difference comes in that the sub-bin mode, whenever the robot buys any position from the 5th call onwards, let's say, for example, I'm going to demonstrate this. Let's say, for example, I identified some buying opportunities. Then I want to set my margin call drop for the 5th call. I come and set my margin call drop for the 5th call as 2.02. Right? And then after setting that, I'm going to determine would I want the robot to use when it is executing the buy order for the 5th call. Then I say maybe, okay, let's say I want the first buying amount is $50. That's $100. So for this position, the robot is going to use $100. But it will only buy if the market price drops by 2.02. Then the robot is going to buy. Now, when it buys, it would inject into the market for this position $100. Then I will go quickly and set my TP for the 5th call. Let's say, for example, I wanted sell when the market, after buying the fifth position, able to sell if the market price rises by 2%. So I'll quickly come and change it here in the distributed and take profit allocation point here, because this is where now you distribute those take profit accordingly, independently, if you wish to. Though you can maintain them uniformly, but you can as well decide to segregate them. Just put them independently. All right. And so what you're going to do, you're going to come and check, look out for percent. This is how I'll change the 1.3 to 2. So now I know that my robot is going to buy the fifth position if the market price drops by 2.02%, and it is going to use 100. I'm expecting 2% if the market price rises and the robot sells. So what I am done for that position, right? Now, you know what is going to happen then? Whatever the robot has used, it has used $100. If indeed the market price rises by 2%, the robot is going to sell. So you expect 2% of your $100, which will be $2. So what you're going to expect back in your sports wallet after the robot selling the fifth position is $2 plus 100, that is $102 back in the sports wallet. You understand? You get that? Now that is what you should expect. But now, under the sub-bin mode, alone, under this strategy mode we're talking about, this, it is not the same. It only happens for the sub-bin mode real-time settlement, where when the robot buys and then the market price rises by the intended take profit you've set, the robot is going to upon selling, is going to bring back whatever amount it used in the market for that position, plus the profit realized. It is going to come back to your sports wallet. And then in your revenue area or in your revenue portal, the robot is going to indicate the profit you have realized from the sale, from that sub-sell. It is going to tell you if it is $2, it will show you that there is a sub-sell, but $2 has been realized, and you see it registered in your revenue, you know? So that is what is going to happen. It settles you there and then in real time. You get that? It settles you there and there. If it buys again and then it rises again, it sells. So it will be selling and giving you, like, recording whatever it has done, but at the same time increasing your capital. You know, it injects, taps some profit from it, brings back into your sports wallet. It injects, taps some profit, brings it back in the spot wallet. So continuously, you'll be seeing an accumulation of some USDT resulting from the sub-cells. Together, that is real time. It is settling you in real time. Nothing like for the future. But if it is in the sub-bin mode, it is not the same. When the robot buys, let's say, for example, in the other example, the robot injected $100 in the fifth position, right? When it is buying the fifth position, it injected $100 and you had set your take profit as 2%. If indeed the market price rises by 2% upon the robot buying the fifth position, you expect the 100 plus the $2 realized as profit back in the spot wallet, right? If your strategy was in the sub-bin mode real-time settlement. By this time, what has been realized will be retained in the
Network gone. Please repeat. Network poor.
The $100. Is it still poor? Is it still poor? Is it still poor?
It's better.
Oh, it's okay now.
Okay. All right.
Please
So
repeat the sub-bin mode because of network. Didn't hear it.
Yeah, I was saying for the sub-bin mode, but you understood what happens under the sub-bin mode real-time settlement, right?
Yes.
Now, Under the sub-bin, it is the contrary of, it is the reverse of what happens in the sub-bin model time settlement. Now here what happens is, instead of you expecting the $100 that was injected while buying that position, plus the profit realized back into the spot wallet, this time it doesn't happen. The amount plus the profit realized is retained in the coin. And then you won't see even a reflection of the profit in the revenue. Not until everything is sold. That's when now you see the total cumulative revenue. You get that? The total cumulative revenue. You will now see it reflected in the revenue area. So for example, let me just demonstrate that. Let me just do this. I'm going to come here. Let me go to that position. So let's come back to this. Let's just use this. Our first buying amount is $50, right? So we have our $50 as our dollars as our first buy-in amount. Now we expect that here, the robot is going to use $100, right? Now when the market price dips again by another 52, the robot is going to use $50 because 50 times 1 is 50, right? Then if the market price dips further, the robot is going to use another $100. Now, just assuming that you had set the take profit for this as 2%, this as 2%, this as 2%. So you expect that if the market price, if the robot buys off this position and then the market price rises by this TP, you expect $2. Same applies to this. You expect $1, right? You expect $1, right? And then this one you still expect also $2. Now, under normal circumstances, if it was in the sub-bin real-time settlement, when the robot sells off this position, you expect $100 plus the $2 back to the spot wallet. If it sells off this, you expect $50 plus the $1 back in the spot wallet. If the sells off this, you also expect the 100 plus the $2 back in the spot wallet. But now in this case, what happens is the reverse. What happens in the sub-bin mode is that when the robot sells off this position, the $100 plus the $2 is going to be retained in the coin. It comes back and sells off this, the 50 plus 1 will be retained. If it sells off this, the $2 plus the 100 will be retained. Now, this is a total of how much which has been retained? Over 250 what? 55, right? Dollars retained in the coin. Now it waits for this other position, the first 4. Now, if the market price continue rising, now the robot is now going to give you a total take profit of whatever is retained in the coin. The 250 plus whatever position that adds up from the first sale, it will now sell it on this TP, right? It will sell it on this take profit. So imagine the first 4 had, let's say, for example, $500. And then the other 5th, 6th, and 7th call, which we added up, was 255. So 255 plus 500, that is a total of 755. Now, what the robot is going to do is, it is going to give you 10% of your 755.
Wow,
You get that? That is
this
the
is
take profit.
good.
You get that? That is what is now, because it kept on accumulating. It kept on accumulating, retaining it in the coin. Then it is now going to sell it together and give you wholesomely or lump sumly, and boom, you see the revenue. You've got your take profit. Now, the beauty about this is that every other time the robot buys, the intention of why we should encourage our robot to continue buying and not be moved by the floating loss is that every other time the robot buys, I want to demonstrate this. Every other time the robot buys, you see this? Sorry, I'm going to give an example based on this. You see this? 5th position, 6th position. I'm going to just give example on those two. Imagine Every other time the robot buys, the beauty of buying is that when the robot buys, it establishes what we call a new average price. Right? When the robot buys, it establishes an average price. Now, what is the average price? In simple terms, the average price is like the benchmark, which determines whether, it acts like, it is like sort of like a benchmark upon which, if the price of that coin goes above it, you'll be floating in profit. If it is above it, you'll be floating in profit. If the market price is below it, you are floating in a loss. So it becomes like the benchmark, the reference point. In simple terms, I try, I like making it in the simplest way for you to understand. That average price established becomes like a benchmark upon which, if the price of that coin goes above it, you'll see yourself floating in profit. But if the price of the coin is below it, you see yourself floating in a loss. Together. Now, how far the market price is below the average price is what we call the return rate. Return rate, which is the percentage you see as in terms of floating loss. If the market price is below the average price by 2%, you will be seeing negative 2% in the return rate. Like at the moment, you see here, if you check on here, it means that for this coin here, you see, what is the return rate? What is the return rate here?
Negative 10.25.
It is negative 10.3, right? Now, the negative 10.3 here, what it implies is that from the point the robot bought the fourth call, right? That was the price, right? When the robot bought the fourth call. Then it established an average price. That average price was somewhere here. Yeah? Now, since then, from when the average price was established, the market price has now gone down from that average price by 10%. So that, let's assume that now the current price is somewhere here. So it is way below the average price by about negative 10%. So that means for me, for the market price, for me to see myself floating in profit, the market price has to move from wherever it is, has to travel back. On approaching the average price, or when it equates the average price, you will see here neither negative nor positive. It will just be 0, 0. That means it is really, the average price is now equivalent to the current price. But a moment it now surpasses it and begins going above, that's where now you begin seeing a positive now. Now, how high it is going to move above the average price will also determine the percentage you will be seeing here in terms of plus. Is that cool? Now, I hope my network has not cut.
It's still good.
Is that okay for everyone?
Yes.
Eh?
Yes.
Very much. It is okay.
Yes.
Okay, then that's perfect. Now, the other thing I wanted to make clear is this. So I was still explaining something here. Imagine, I'm going to explain something here so that we first see the beauty of what I'm going to explain. Let's assume this is, okay. You see here, the market price dipped by 1, the robot bought. So let's assume this is the buying price. Then it dipped, the buying price is there, right? It dips, the buying price. Now, let's look at this. Every other time the robot buys, it will establish an average price which is slightly above the market price. So let's assume the average price was here, right? This blue is representing the buying price. The average price is represented by red. Now, you see this distance? It is closer to the buying price, right? Now, that is the first thing. Now, if the market price continue to dip, now it is dipping by 1.5. We expect the robot to buy around here. When it buys, a new average price is going to be created. Now, this is average price 1. Now, we're going to have average price 2. Average price 2. Now, the average price the robot will be looking at now won't be this other one. It won't be average price 1. It will now be looking at average price 2. It will be using the average price 2 as the determinant of the degree of floating loss or floating profit. You get that? It will now be the new. It no longer uses the old. It will now be using the new. Okay? Now, if the robot buys again here, the average price will cease to be the average price 2. It will now have another average price 3. Now, the new benchmark or the reference point will now be this, not that, not the first. It will now be basing on the current average price. Now, when it buys off this other point again, the market price dips, it will establish another average price 4. It will no longer look at 3. It will now be looking at 4. Now, let's see the beauty of what happens here. Let's assume, you see all the way, this is 1, 1.5, that's a total of 2.5, plus this, that is a total of 4%. Now imagine the market price has dipped by 4% from here. Market price has gone down by 4%. But are you aware that the floating loss will not be 4%? The floating loss may be around roughly about 1 point something. Why? Because all the way the robot was buying and establishing new average prices which are closer to that price at which the robot bought. You get that? It establishes an average price which is closer to the price at which the robot bought. It no longer uses the old. So as the market price is going down and the robot is buying, expect the gap between the floating loss, the gap between the current price and the average price is as narrow as possible. And now the beauty is, imagine, the market price has dipped by 4%, but your floating loss is around 1.5 or even 2%. Let's just say it is 2%. Now, do you see something here? If this is our average price, this is our average price. Do you see this? And then this is our current price, right? And then we're assuming the distance between the average price and this is what we're saying is 2%. Now, as a trader, do you have to wait for the market price to rise by 4% before you can begin floating a profit? No, you no longer have to wait for 4%. You only have to wait for 2% rise and you begin swimming in floating profit. You don't have to wait for 4%. The gap, because the robot was at work, gap between the average price and the current price is as short as possible. All right? I don't know whether it is making sense. So encouraging the robot to buy, every time the robot buys, I believe you know that whenever the robot buys, it has an effect on the floating loss. There's a way it has an effect in the floating loss. It causes something on the floating loss. The floating loss does not remain the same. It reduces slightly depending on how much the robot has used or pumped on that coin in the market. Right? It tends to affect the floating loss positively. You get that? Why? Because a new average price has been created. It is no longer using the old average price. And I want to demonstrate this. Just let me give an example here. Let me try to give an example here. I want to just demonstrate something and we'll see. And we'll try to appreciate. Okay. Hot is at -10, right? -10.5. I'm going to just change the parameter. I want the robot to buy my 5th position. I'm going to switch this one on. I'm going to switch this one on. I'll just turn it on. I want the robot to buy off the 5th position. I'll just put a small amount. Let's say I wanted to use $100. I wanted to use, let me just use $10. So my first buying amount is 50. I'll come to the 5th position. I'll just determine I want you to use $10 only. So the other time when you were
Network is breaking. It's breaking.
if you the value here would be you just buy in amount you buy, your first buying amount, and then you yeah. And then am I still breaking? Isn't it clear? Isn't it loud?
Yeah, okay, but you have to repeat the.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's okay, but you have to go back.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I hope the other part is understood. So I was explaining something that if you want to, if there is a specific amount you would wish the robot to use for a particular position, and you don't know what the figure, you don't know which multiple buying ratio you should set. Like for example, here I want the robot to use only $10. So I am going to pick my $10, divide by my first buy-in amount. I'll get the figure which I should put here. You understand? So for example, in this case, to get the figure that I am going to put under my multiple buying ratio for the 5th call, for the robot to use $10, I'm going to say 10 divided by 50, which is my first buying amount. I'll get 0 point. It will be 0 point. It will be 0 point.
0.2.
Sorry?
0.2.
0.2, yes. So I'll put here 0.2. So I'll change it to 0.2, 0.2. So here I expect my robot to pick only to use only $10 because it is going to pick my $50, which is my first buying amount. It comes around here and checks on what the instruction is saying on the multiple buying ratio. That means it will multiply it by that and it will use a total of $10 only. So let's see. I'm going to save this and I want us to go and relate. What is my floating loss? My floating loss is negative 10 point. Is negative 10.2.
The network is starting again.
So let's see. Sorry, I'm going to. The network is disturbing again?
Yeah, the network was starting. Yeah, now it's much better.
It's okay now. So now I'm going to open my, I want to see what effect is going to cause here. Let's see. It has triggered. Let's see and see. Let's see if it buys on the 5th position and you see what happened. Do you see what happened? Did we see what happened here?
Yes.
It reduced. Remember?
Yes, reduced.
It reduced.
10.9
Now,
to
imagine it has only used $10. Now let's assume we have here 435. Let's assume I wanted to inject an amount, say for example, equivalent to 400. What will happen? I'm going to tap here, buy.
Yeah. 400.
Yeah. You see here. Now let's see what the effect it will have. This is what is happening in the market. This is what I have in the market on that coin. This is the average price, which has been established. This is the current price. See, the current price is more closer to the new average price, right? You see? This current one, which has just bought, it is very near. It is nearer the current price, the average price that has been created. And the floating loss is at the moment at negative 10. Now, let's assume I want to buy
I want to inject in more. I want the robot to use more dollars in the market. I'm going to put an amount equivalent to $400. So let's see, I'll tap on market price. There I put $400. Check what happens. Check what happens. You see, if my robot is to use $400, all right? If the robot is to buy again now with $400, the floating loss is going to move away from -10. It will come down to -5.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And
Yes.
the average price will no longer be this. There will be now a new average price here. Now, if you compare 0.00453 and then 0.00428, which one is more nearer to this current price? The first one and the second one, which one is more nearer to the current price?
The second one.
The second one.
The second one.
Mm.
It is more nearer. You get that? And how near is it? It is near by 5% only. But the other first one is near the current price by 10%, though it is below. You see that? Now, assume I said, okay, I increase another 0. That is 4,000. What is happening?
Negative 1.02%.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And now, the new average price is this. Now compare. Isn't it more nearer to this?
Yeah.
Almost. You see that? Now here, if you pump in $4,000 on top of what is already in the market, which is 435, this time you don't have to wait for the market price to rise by 10% before you begin floating in profit. You only need 1% rise, and boom, you're already in floating profit. Why? Because the average price is now more nearer to the current market price. You understand? Yes. So that is the beauty. So here, if I was to confirm, that is what is going to happen. You see, the floating losses is in fact now it is. I just need a small rise, and I begin enjoying profit. Now imagine somebody who had to wait for -10. Who had to wait for 10% rise, and for you, you're already at this negative, and you're waiting along with that person. You see, by the time this person is going to begin seeing floating profit, for you would already be enjoying 10% floating profit.
Yeah.
You'll already be having 10% in floating profit, as this person is just still waiting for floating profit. But for you who did a replenishment, either automatic or manual, you are now swimming in profit 10% before the other person who is waiting for the other 10% rise. Because maybe probably he or she did not want to do replenishment, or never wanted the robot to buy. First,
Can I ask a question?
The person probably didn't have the capital. So the person had to wait. Now, but the person who had capital, yes, please.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, who is asking?
Okay, this is Franklin. The question I want to ask is, that means it makes sense not to have too many trades, to trade in too many coins, so that you may have some capital left if you want to do this replenishment.
That is the strategy I've always recommended. Do you know why I put on the signal that use the GCA wallet management strategy? What does the GCA wallet management strategy says? Divide your capital into 2, right? If you divide into 2, put 50% in the market, retain 50% as a bullet to do replenishment, to get you out of the market earlier or faster. Just imagine you had $800. $800, yeah? Now, $800, roughly around 400 is already in the market, right? Now it is time for you to do replenishment. You see what is going to happen? Market price, now you have 400, which was as a reserve. Do you see the effect it's going to cause in the market? You are here now. If you had the 50%, which as a reserve, you have your 50%, which is already in the market roughly. Now you have a reserve of 50%, which is 400. And now you're doing the magic. You are now ready to do the magic. Now, you who have done the magic by doing replenishment, you're going to wait for just a little while. That means the market price just has to move from here, just has to rise slightly to this point, and you'll be floating in profit. But this person who did not do replenishment, who used everything in the market, has to wait for the price here to rise back to this before the person can be floating in profit, which is almost a 10% rise. You see that? So this figure is more closer to the current price than the other figure. So the wallet management strategy is key. 2, it is not how many number of coins you trade that gives you the profit. It's how you maximize and allocate your fund well. That gives you the ability to make the money. It's not how many coins. It's not the number of coins. Yeah?
Okay, I have a question, Coach.
Yes.
This is Maureen.
Yes.
I want to find out, okay, once you've like done the replenishment and then you're floating in profit, can you like close the trade, or will it affect all the other, let's say if
You can close it.
So
You
when you
can
close it,
close it
will give you
anytime.
profit for the others?
Yeah,
You will not
imagine,
gain any loss.
for example, you replenish, right?
Yes.
And your TP, let's say, for example, your TP was 10%, like I've said, right? And now you see that you're replenished, and now you see your market price as you're now in floating, let's say by 2%, you're now in 2% floating profit. Man, you don't have to wait for 10%. If you feel like closing, close and take the 2%. And which one do you use? This is the button you use to close. You use this. Just come and tap on sell at market price. That current price, which was giving you the what? Because now at the moment I am floating at negative. I am at negative, right? See here? So if I decide to sell now and I tap on sure, I am going to lose how much? $46. But let's assume that this was a positive. Assume that this was a positive. That means I was going to gain $46 as profit. But because it is negative, I will lose $46. But if this was a positive 10, that means I would have made also a positive $46 as profit, because that is the estimated selling profit. Together.
Yes.
So you just tap on that market price and then you confirm and you get the profit. You don't have to wait for the other TP.
Okay.
As long as you see yourself floating in profit, you feel you cannot wait for that TP. You just want to collect whatever you want. Yes, close it. It is okay. Just tap on sell, market price, boom.
Okay. All
Sell
right.
it off. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
Coach, I have a simple question here.
Yes, please. Who is speaking?
This is Francis from Kenya.
Okay.
I may not probably have gotten this one due to network breaks. I've already set up a bot. It is running. It was on warehouse. How can I return it back to the subnim real time? Have you explained that in?
How many times has it bought so far?
Maybe it will have bought maybe twice.
No, as you see, you can change the strategy modes for as long as the robot has not bought more than 4 times. You can still change whatever strategy mode you want to. But the moment the robot has bought more than 4 times, let's say it has now bought the 5th call onwards, you can now not change one strategy mode to another. You can now not change.
What if it was only for, say, four margin calls and it has bought once?
You can change. For as long as it has not bought more than 4, you can change. But if it has bought more than 4, you cannot change.
Had you given us an explanation of how to change that?
Yeah, it's simple. I did. It is simple. What you only need to do, you come and tap on, you open that coin, you tap on your strategy mode.
Yes.
You just come and tap on the strategy mode.
Yeah.
You understand, and then you just tap on any. Yeah. You see?
Yes.
Tap on any. And then you confirm.
It is asking me to please make allocation for profit distribution, something like that.
Okay. Now, if your strategy mode was in the wall warehouse and the margin call limit is a figure that is ranging from 1 to 4.
Yes.
You cannot change to any of these two.
Oh my God.
Because when you change to any of these two is to allow you benefit from the sub positions, the benefit of the sub position, the sub bins, which takes place or takes effect from the 5th call, 6th call onwards.
Okay.
So you cannot change to sub bin when you have actually not allocated, you have not increased your margin call limit to that region of the sub bin, because sub bin begins from 5. Anything below 5 is not sub bin, is wall warehouse.
Oh, so I'm within. Okay.
So you're still within there. So if you want to change to any of these two, just simply go here, just simply come here to trade settings, and then increase your margin call limit to either 5, 6, or 7. But for as long as it is below this figure, 4, 3, 2, 1, you cannot change still. But increase it to 5 or 6, then you can go and change.
So I'm still okay, especially in this emergency time when the many coins are on the red. I'm still okay with the full warehouse and 4 margin calls.
It's okay.
Okay, please, I have a question.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Franklin. Now, the question I have is for the strategy mode, okay? I want to differentiate between sub-bin mode and sub-bin mode real-time settlement. If you have sub-bin mode real-time settlement, and it starts from the 5th call down, okay, and it is selling as a different market and getting profit and taking back to the wallet, it means that from then on, it's not going to be reducing the average price.
Sorry, pardon again?
I said, if the sub-bin mode, okay, real-time settlement is set up, and they're starting from the 5th call down, because from then on, as the price dips, it's going to sell and make a profit and take it back to the wallet. That means it's not going to be keeping it within the sale within the trade to reduce the average price.
No, what happens there is, you see, you saw the effect of any buy, right? When a buy order is made, that it has effect on the floating loss, right? Right? Now, what happens is if it has caused an effect, a positive effect on the floating loss, what is going to happen is this. Let's assume at the moment the robot buys off the 5th position. You're going to see again an increase in the floating loss. Why? Because whatever was put in, which actually helped in reducing the average price, has been removed.
Yeah.
But if it was in the sub-bin mode, because whatever is sold is going to be retained in the coin, instead of seeing an increase in floating loss, you're going to see either maintenance of the floating loss the way it is, or a slight reduction because of the profit. That 2% will also have an effect.
Yeah.
You get that?
Yes.
The amount that was pumped in, and then the profit realized is also going to cause an effect. So you won't see much change in the floating loss. But if it's in the sub-bin mode real-time settlement, what happens is, because whatever was injected that caused the floating loss to reduce slightly is now being taken back to the sports wallet, you're going to see another increase. It will go back to the previous floating loss percentage. But if it buys again, you see a reduction. If it sells, it goes back. Unless the market price is on a rise, that's when you will be seeing a gradual decrease. But if it is still there, consolidating, ranging. You will not see so much changes. Once the robot sells, there's an increase slightly. When it buys, it reduces. When it sells, an increase. So you'll be seeing some sort of that changes in the market price like that. An increase, reduction, increase, reduction. Not until the market price is on a rise, that's when you see almost a significant progressive decrease in the floating loss because the price will be rising. But if it is in the sub-bin mode, because whatever was used there is not being removed, you just see the floating loss the way it was reduced. It will remain the way it was reduced, or rather, you'll see another slight reduction because of the profit that has been realized out of the sale in that position. You get that? Yeah. So that is what happens. Like, for example, if I was to for example, buy at market price, say I buy with $400, you see, it has reduced the floating loss by what? It has reduced the floating loss to negative 5.6, right? Now, if my strategy mode was in sub-bin mode, now what is going to happen here is if the robot sells off whatever position that is from the fifth call, which the robot used the $400 for, this floating loss is going to remain the way it is, or you will even see a slight reduction either to negative 5.5 something. Because of the profit realized, it will not go back to negative 10. But if it is the sub-bin mode real-time settlement, this amount which is used is going to be taken back. Because it is being taken back, you're going to see the floating going back to the previous floating loss percentage because this has been taken off again. Previously, it helped reducing the floating loss, but now it has been taken out, it is going to go back. Like that. If it buys again, it reduces. If it goes off, like that. So you'll be seeing an increase, reduction, an increase, reduction, like that. I hope it is clear.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Coach,
Yeah.
I have a question. At what rate of percentage of floating loss can one do money replacement?
Sorry,
Get my
sorry again. Sorry.
At what rate? Maybe you are in floating loss. At what rate? Maybe it's when it's minus 10 or minus 5 or minus 20. Can you do money replacement? That is what I want to know.
Now, unfortunately, the money replacement you can only do if you study the market structure. You can't just do it blindly.
Sometimes you do money replacement. You find out that the
You
market
cannot do it blindly. Or alternatively, if you're in a group which gives signal like most of the like our team, I think for us, what you do if you see that a signal has been dropped on that coin which is floating at negative 10, and maybe say they have given signal a take profit of 5%. Hey, you can go and replace it because now you say 5%. If I reduce and something reduced by 5%, then plus, I think I'll be good. Together. So you can be doing depending on what is happening. If you're good at market structure, you can go and see the potential of a trend reversal to the upside. And if you see that there's a significant possibility of the market rising, by that floating loss, if it was a negative 10, you see it rising by negative 10, you can go and do replenishment so that you first of all reduce the floating loss and enjoy the ride. You get that? If you don't know, relax. Relax, do the automatic, benefit from the signal. If it is 2%, go and set 2%. We shall talk about how to set it up in the next mentorship class, the next class, and how you set up and trade a coin which is floating in a loss when a signal is. I will emphasize more in the next class. Yeah.
Something
Hello,
happened
coach.
when you
Yes, please.
posted a signal this afternoon. I think BNX. I traded it and I bought it. I first of all bought for myself and I bought for my downline. But its own sold and my own did not sold. I don't know why.
Sorry? Pardon again?
There's a signal you post this afternoon, I think around 3 o'clock. BNX, I think so. I bought for myself.
BNX.
Yes, I bought for myself and I bought for my downline. Yes, I bought for myself and I bought for my downlander with me at that moment. But later, after I think close to 1 hour, he called me and told me that his own have sold. And it's, you know, even till now, my own have not sold. So I don't know what is the problem. It's like you are no more on the call. You're having a network issue. Your line is not clear.
Oh.
Hello, coach. We can't hear you. Hello.
He's off.
He's offline.
Yeah.
Well, let's just wait a bit.
Okay. All right. I think the
Yes,
network somehow disturbed me. I wasn't getting you clearly. I don't know if you could pardon. Maybe you may be the last for now because I think our time is up.
Hands have been up.
Yeah. Yes. May I ask a question again? Hello? Hey, is the person still there?
Can I go on?
Yes, please go on. You were saying something.
When you posted this signal BNX this afternoon.
This one here.
Yes.
Yes.
I quickly bought it and my downline it was with me then. So and I bought with him.
Yes.
I bought for him. Shortly after 1 hour, he called me and told me that his own have sold. While my own have not sold even up to now. I don't know the magic.
Hey, you man, you hey, okay. That this is a good one also. BNX is good. Yours will sell in the next round, don't worry. Okay, what happens is this. Let me just let me say something. Normally, you see, I don't know who asked. I hope let me first see who is that. Who asked? Your name? Monday, yes, Monday. What happens is this: if you make best use of, you see, this the margin call drops, the two margin call drops I give. First call, second call.
Yes, I got
if you set this right, okay, then you come to this side. Use either Fibonacci 2, 3, or use the double up 2, 4. End of the two.
Okay, yeah. This is what
you
did.
cannot help but get out of the market in the signal I give you.
I used the first call at 0.22, but the second call I changed it and I put that was that's supposed to be 0.2. I now make it 1.5. That is where the problem comes.
Yeah, so
because I saw the coins have shoot up. I said, let me extend the margin call drop. And I hope that is where I got the mistake.
Okay, yeah, but it will sell. It will sell. Normally, when I give you this, this margin call tips I gave, you try to use it. Try.
I normally do for this coin. I check it on TradingView, find out that the coins have picked up. So I say, okay, maybe it start coming down. So I will not be much of a loss. That is what happened.
Now, most of the time when I'm setting this coin, my analysis may be quite different from some of the leaders. I know everyone have their own ways, their own trading strategy. But me, most of the time, my analysis is based on either 5 minutes time frame or 30 minutes time frame. Rarely do I go for 1 hour, and maybe 4 hours just to help you have the picture. But there's a lot of events that happen in a smaller time frame that people miss out on because of wanting to look at the bigger thing. There's more opportunity. Can you believe that this movement here is so amazing that you will not see if you're in 1 hour? That you will not see if you're in 4 hours. You will not see it. But are you aware that this 5 minutes here, that somebody could benefit? Just look. Just look. Let me even just go to 30 minutes. Are you aware? This pullback is a good one? You see this movement? Just watch this movement. There is a then there's a retracement, and then boom. Now there's going to be a retracement. But will you see this in a bigger time frame? Nara. Here, if you buy somewhere here, this percentage, this rise is good. This one is good. Look, on this Fibonacci level, just to this is 4%. 4%. This retracement. Yeah? There was a dip, then a retracement, another dip, another retracement is building up. Can you see this in a bigger time frame? Can you see it? And can you benefit? Can you maximize it? Can you, will you see? Where? How? You cannot. You come to like 5 minutes. Come to another 5 minutes. Look at 5 minutes time frame. Let me show you. Some of you don't know. Let me show you. Look at this. Look at this. Let me even remove this. Just look at this. Look at this movement. This beautiful, sweet movement. Just from here. Bam, 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 bam. This is this is 4%. Look at this one here. Look at this movement. That whenever there is a dip, this year, bam, there is a quick correction that must take effect. A quick correction. And this correction indeed took place from a beam back to this point. 4%. Do you see this in a bigger time frame? Bigger time frame only gives you a picture. Okay, what is going to happen now? You get scared. Say now. Where is it? You can only be scared and say now what is going to happen here? Guy, it is a long journey. Yeah. I'm not trading this one. Then you run away. You leave that opportunity. You go for another. You look for another. This one is not okay. But you see this percentage. The people who trade almost got it. Now let me tell you. Let me show you. Let me just go to 30 minutes. Do you see this build up? This build up was beautiful. Very beautiful. Before the dump, it was a beautiful one. It started all the way here. Started all the way. The build up was on. Now this is a retracement. So mine is different, and I know people in this call might have been trading with different people or by different leaders, but I use my own way. I trade my own way, and my signal is my own way. Though I see most people nowadays tend to copy the signal, the information. Yeah, it is okay. And but me, if it is truly mine will always deliver. Mine will always be there. to give you the profit. Because how I analyze it is different. Okay. Okay.
I understand now. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're good. It has been good having you guys on.
Coach, can I just ask one thing? Coach,
Yeah.
I wanted to find out. The last time we did a lesson about how to determine which coins are ready to trade and everything, and you only did it once. And I wonder if there's been any other lessons, because I haven't been informed of those lessons.
You've been what? You're speaking like you're in a pot.
All right. Do you remember
There's
there
a
was
lot
a
of
time?
echo.
Okay, I think because I'm using earphones. Do you remember that there was a time we did technical analysis lessons?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes. I was wondering if there been any other lessons again apart from that one?
There has been. We also had another, only that I didn't record. Okay, I'm going to free up the space and I will start recording again. The space, the cloud space is filled up.
Okay.
That's why even I'll again do the recording. And when the recording is there, I'll avail it in the group. Though the other one I didn't drop in the group, but it is there. I think I'll drop it.
All right, because I didn't see any notification of the Zoom meeting.
Anyway, yeah.
How do I send you this recording?
Yeah.
How do I send you the recording?
I'll show you. I'll share with you. Okay, you can stop it. If you're done, then you can stop it, and then it will be